Welcome to our daily Bible devotions. This week we're talking about miracles, truth about them, and we have established that while miracles are rare, unrepeatable, and unusual events, not all unusual events are miracles. So, what are some examples of unusual events that are not considered miracles? Here's one: psychosomatic. Psychosomatic relates to a physical condition caused or aggravated by a mental factor. It relates to the interaction of mind and body. For example, if you have a sickness, it can be psychosomatic if it's caused mentally. There's an example of a person who feels like he has an allergy with flowers. Then every time he's near flowers, anything that has petals and pistils and all those the pollen, he feels very allergic. There was one time, and this is a real story. It happened to Dr. Norman Geisler actually, and he was near a flower and he kept on sneezing. And then he asked the person, "Can you move that flower away from me because my allergy is acting up? I feel really sneezy." And then he kept sneezing. And then the person told him, uh, "That's actually plastic." And then that's when it hit him that allergy, that sickness is actually psychosomatic. That's just in his mind. He doesn't really have an allergy. And what's worse is he has a prescription medicine, strong medicine that he takes to fight that allergy. And then, so what he learned from that is that if it's mind over body, then he threw away the prescription medicine, and he decided, okay, I don't have allergies. I don't have allergies. It's mind over body, mind over body. Now, some sickness can be caused mentally in the same way that some healing can happen mentally as well. There was this familiar story that I remember that people were asking for a very important cure, a very important medicine. And then when they received the medicine, that medicine was really in demand. They kept on fighting against one another just to buy that medicine. Turns out, the medicine that cures them is just water, because the healing happens mentally induced. It's psychosomatic. It's something that can be explained by psychology. Now, the sickness and the healing, again, it may be an unusual event, but it's not a miracle. It can be explained naturally or psychologically. Another thing, one is psychosomatic, second is magic. Okay, perhaps the most familiar kind of unusual event is magic. Magic is based on human sleight of hand or misleading the mind. So a good magician can make you think he has sliced a woman in half, or pulled a rabbit out of a hat, or made an elephant disappear. But all of that, they're just illusion, a clever trick. Once you're let in on the trick, then you say, now, why didn't I think of that? Magic being a trick under human control is actually not a miracle. In fact, I remember a famous Filipino magician. It's weird because he's famous, but I don't remember his name anymore. Anyway, he's a really good magician. And then when he was interviewed one time, this is what he said: "I don't believe in magic." And by magic, he was talking about the supernatural thing that allows magic to happen. Now, he said, as a magician, he doesn't believe in magic because it's just all trick. It can all be explained by misleading of the mind. Psychosomatic, magic, last and probably most controversial is the satanic signs. Okay, another possible cause of an unusual event could be other spiritual beings. Now, look, if we've already assumed that God exists, God being infinite, immaterial, spiritual, then it is possible that other spiritual beings exist. But if Satan and demons exist, do they have infinite powers? No, their powers are limited. Why? Because God is infinite. No other being can be infinite. And we can surmise this, the infinity of God, when we say infinite, meaning no beginning, no end. Now, this characteristic can be derived from the cosmological and teleological and moral argument, because only an infinite being can cause something to come out of nothing, such as the Big Bang. Okay, if all beings have beginning, then there must be one who started it all, an infinite. And if there's an infinite being, that infinite being must only be just one being, because logically, that's what we can surmise from that. Okay, so God is infinite, He's the only infinite being. So that means Satan and other demons or other spiritual beings, they're not infinite. Also, if we have this principle that, okay, if God is good, then therefore evil must exist alongside good. It's called dualism. Now, principle of pure dualism is impossible. There is no such thing as pure evil. Evil is simply a privation or removal of something good. You remove something good, then that becomes evil. So evil is like a parasite in good, in a sense. Evil cannot exist on its own. Evil is like a rust to a car. Now, if you take away all the rust, well, you have a better car. But if you take away all the car, you have nothing. I mean, what is rust? Rust is nothing anymore. So that's the same thing. So Satan cannot be the evil equivalent of God. If God is the infinite being, cosmologically speaking, teleologically and morally speaking, the one who created everything with intelligent design and is the standard of morality, if God is that infinite being, then there is actually no equivalent, no evil equivalent for that. In fact, Satan has, based on some literature, in fact, Satan has good attributes such as power, free will, and rational thought, the capability to reason out, to think. But Satan, according to those literature, he uses them, those gifts, those abilities, for evil purposes. In fact, I want to show you a difference between satanic science and divine science, or divine or supernatural works. By this table alone, you can see the difference between the two. We will continue exploring some other distinctions tomorrow.